The ultimatum. The diplomatic vessel Olive Branch sliced through the darkness of space, its sleek hull reflecting distant starlight, as it approached the massive structure known as the Conclave Station. Commander Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the looming station. It resembled a massive jeweled spider, with crystalline docking arms extending in all directions, housing representatives from over 200 spacefaring civilizations. Final approach vectors confirmed. Commander, Lieutenant Raj Patel announced from the navigation console. Vraxian Control has assigned us docking arm 7. Chen nodded, her expression betraying nothing of the anxiety churning in her stomach. This mission represented humanity's final attempt at peace with the Vraxian Imperium, the dominant power in this sector of the galaxy. For 3 years, Vraxian ships had been conducting security operations near human colony worlds, each incursion growing bolder, each diplomatic protest met with denials and accusations of human aggression. Status of the emergency transponder? Chen asked, her voice steady. Armed and ready. Security Chief Elise Winters confirmed, her hand resting near her concealed sidearm. If things go sideways, Earth Command will know immediately. The Olive Branch glided into its assigned docking port, magnetic clamps securing the vessel as atmosphere equalization commenced. Chen straightened her midnight blue uniform, the silver Earth insignia catching the light. Remember, she addressed her team of 5 diplomats and security personnel. We represent 4 billion humans back home, and another billion in the colonies. We come seeking peace, but we will not beg for it. The air in the conclave's great chamber felt thick, processed through hundreds of atmospheric filters to accommodate the diverse biology of its occupants. Tiered seating rose in concentric circles around a central speaking platform, each section hosting representatives from different galactic regions. The Vraxian delegation dominated the uppermost tier. Supreme Emissary Graxov, his scaled body adorned with ceremonial battle markings, watched Chen's approach with 4 independently moving eyes. Behind him sat 6 Vraxian military commanders, their posture rigid, their expressions unreadable behind respirator masks adapted for oxygen-rich environments. The conclave recognizes Earth Representative Commander Maya Chen, announced the mediator, a tall, willowy being with translucent skin that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. She comes under diplomatic protection to address grievances against the Vraxian Imperium. Chen took her position at the center platform, aware of hundreds of alien eyes upon her, some curious, others hostile, most simply calculating their own advantage in the ongoing power struggle. Distinguished representatives, Chen began, her voice amplified throughout the chamber. For 3 standard cycles, humanity has sought peaceful coexistence with all spacefaring civilizations. We have shared medical technologies, established trade routes, and respected territorial boundaries, as defined by Conclave Treaty 5291. She activated a holographic display showing a map of human space and surrounding territories. Yet in these same 3 cycles, Vraxian vessels have violated our boundaries 47 times. They have established military outposts on asteroids within our recognized territory. They have intercepted and inspected our colony supply ships. 2 weeks ago, our research station in the Ta City system was destroyed with all hands lost. Graxov's upper eyes narrowed while his lower ones remained fixed on Chen. The research station was developing biological weapons, he countered, his translator rendering his clicks and hisses into standard galactic. We had no choice but to neutralize the threat. That was a terraforming research facility, Chen responded sharply. Studying methods to make marginal worlds habitable for multiple species, including Vraxians. Your evidence is fabricated, Graxov dismissed with a wave of his clawed hand. The Imperium acts only to preserve galactic security. For 2 hours, the debate circled familiar territory. Chen presented evidence of Vraxian aggression. Graxov dismissed it as human propaganda. Other conclave members occasionally interjected with questions or comments, but none seemed willing to challenge the Imperium directly. Finally, Chen raised her hand for silence. The chamber, sensing something had changed, grew still. "I came here today, not just to lodge another protest," she said, her voice quiet but carrying to every corner of the vast room. "I came to deliver humanity's final message." She activated a new holographic display. This one showed Earth, blue, beautiful, and surrounded by an orbital defense network that had not been there 3 months ago. "For 3 years, we have extended every possible olive branch. We have endured provocations, accepted insults, and buried our dead while seeking diplomatic solutions. That ends today." A murmur swept through the chamber. Even Graxov seemed momentarily taken aback. "The United Earth government has authorized me to inform the Conclave that as of this moment, any Vraxian vessel entering human space will be considered hostile and will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. Any attack on human settlements will trigger automatic retaliation against Vraxian military installations. You threaten the Imperium." Graxov's voice rose, his scales flushing the deep crimson of anger. "Your species has barely mastered faster than light travel. The Vraxian Imperium ruled the stars when your ancestors were still huddling in caves." Chen's expression didn't change. "We are not threatening. We are informing. Humanity wishes peace, but we are prepared for war. The choice is yours." She turned to address the entire conclave. "To all other species represented here, know that human space remains open to peaceful trade and cultural exchange. We ask only for your recognition of our sovereignty and our right to defend ourselves." As Chen stepped down from the platform, the chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, translation fields struggling to keep pace with the overlapping questions and exclamations. The mediator called repeatedly for order. Chen and her team were halfway to the exit when the first explosion rocked the chamber. Emergency lighting flashed as smoke billowed from a breach in the upper levels. Security barriers activated, compartmentalizing sections of the conclave chamber. "It's our ship," Winters shouted over the chaos, checking her tactical display. "The olive branch is under attack." Chen activated her emergency communicator. "Bridge, report." Lieutenant Patel's voice came through, punctuated by static. 3 Vraxian destroyers decloaked and opened fire. "Our shields are failing. We've got hull breaches on decks 3 and 4. Evacuate the crew," Chen ordered, already running toward the docking arm with her team. "Initiate Protocol Omega. They're jamming our escape pods," Patel shouted. And his voice cut off as another explosion shook the station. Around them, conclave security forces were mobilizing, some moving to contain the human delegation. "They're trying to frame us for an attack on the conclave," Winters realized, drawing her weapon. This was planned from the start. Chen made a split-second decision. New plan. "We split up. Get to the communication hub and broadcast what's happening. I'll try to reach the ship." As her team dispersed, Chen fought her way through panicking delegates and security cordons. Through viewport windows, she could see the olive branch engulfed in weapons fire, its hull glowing red from sustained energy attacks. Vraxian destroyers circled it like predators finishing off wounded prey. She reached a maintenance corridor that ran parallel to the docking arm, forcing open a sealed door with her emergency override. Ahead, through reinforced glass, she could see the burning wreckage of her ship still connected to the station. Her communicator crackled to life. "Commander," Winter's voice came through, breathless. "I've reached a secondary comm array, broadcasting on all frequencies, but they're trying to shut me down." "Send this," Chen instructed, watching as her ship's reactor began to destabilize, exactly as Protocol Omega dictated. "To all civilizations watching. This is Commander Maya Chen of Earth. You witness now the Vraxian response to our peace overtures. Remember this day. Remember that we came seeking diplomacy and were answered with destruction." She paused, watching as the first Vraxian boarding parties approached the dying ship, unaware of what waited inside. Final words from humanity. "You wanted peace. Then why are you bleeding?" The olive branch's reactor detonated in a blinding flash of light, taking with it the 3 Vraxian destroyers and a significant portion of the Conclave Station's docking ring. The last thing Chen saw before emergency bulkheads slammed shut was the surprised expression on the faces of the Vraxian boarding party as they realized, too late, that humanity was not the easy prey they had anticipated. Awakening the giant. Admiral William Donovan stood before the combined chiefs of staff in the underground war room beneath the Rocky Mountains, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing the destruction of the Conclave Station's eastern docking ring. The final transmission from Commander Chen played on a loop in the background, her voice calm even as she delivered humanity's declaration of defiance. "The Vraxians have made their choice," Donovan stated, his voice heavy with the weight of what would follow. "The diplomatic option is officially exhausted." President Sophia Reyes, the first leader of the fully unified Earth government, nodded grimly. "Casualties. The entire diplomatic team and crew of the Olive Branch," Donovan confirmed. But Commander Chen's Protocol Omega worked precisely as designed. The ship's reactor detonation took out 3 Vraxian destroyers and approximately 200 of their elite boarding forces. "First blood to us, then," General Zhang commented, making a notation on his tablet. "But they'll retaliate immediately. The colonies on the frontier will be their first targets." "The colonies are already evacuating to hardened shelters," Donovan replied. "And the Vraxians will find more waiting for them than they expect." President Reyes looked around the table at Earth's military leadership. "Is Project Prometheus ready?" For 3 years, while diplomatic overtures continued, humanity had been preparing for this moment. The attack on the Ta City research station had been the final confirmation needed. Peace would never be possible with the Vraxian Imperium. They respected only strength and saw diplomacy as weakness to be exploited. "Prometheus is online and operational," Dr. Eliza Montgomery confirmed, the project's chief scientist rising to her feet. "All 17 battle groups are armed and in position." She activated a new holographic display, showing a network of seemingly ordinary transport ships, mining vessels, and orbital platforms scattered throughout human space. With a gesture, the disguises fell away, revealing state-of-the-art warships, defense platforms, and carrier vessels. "For 3 years, we've hidden our military buildup inside civilian infrastructure," Montgomery explained. "Every colony ship carried weapons systems. Every mining platform housed missile batteries. Every orbital habitat contained fighter squadrons." Donovan nodded in approval. "The Vraxians believe they're attacking a species that's still finding its footing in interstellar politics. They have no idea we've been preparing for war since our first contact with their advanced scouts 7 years ago." "What about our technological disadvantage?" asked Admiral Yoshida. "The Vraxians have been spacefaring for millennia." Dr. Montgomery smiled for the first time. "That's where Prometheus truly shines. While the Vraxians have been refining the same technologies for centuries, becoming stagnant and complacent, we've been innovating. Our quantum entanglement communication system means they can't jam or intercept our signals. Our gravitic propulsion drives give us maneuverability their ships can't match, and our adaptive shield technology can analyze and counter their weapons after minimal exposure." President Reyes stood, straightening her jacket. "Then it's time. Admiral Donovan, you have authorization to implement Defense Directive Alpha 1. May God help us all." Across human space, disguised warships shed their civilian coverings. Hidden weapon systems activated. Defense platforms revealed their true nature. A message flashed across all military channels. Alpha A1 INITATE. Prometheus awakened. The Vraxian attack came exactly where predicted. A battle group of 30 vessels converging on the human colony at Proxima Centauri, the closest star system to Earth. The colony appeared vulnerable, its orbital defenses minimal, its population center exposed on the planet's surface. Supreme Commander Thrak of the Vraxian fleet watched with satisfaction as his ships entered the system. "No significant defenses detected," his tactical officer reported. "Minimal orbital presence. Ground-based weapons insufficient to threaten our vessels. Begin bombardment. Thrak ordered. Show these humans the cost of defiance. As the Vraxian ships moved into attack formation, sensors detected movement from the asteroid belt. Mining vessels adjusting position. The tactical officer noted dismissively. Civilian craft fleeing the combat zone. Thrak barely acknowledged the report. Weapons locked on primary settlement. Firing sequence initiated. The first salvo of Vraxian energy weapons lanced toward the planet's surface. They never arrived. Between the Vraxian fleet and their target, the space seemed to ripple and distort. The energy beams dissipated harmlessly against shields that had not been there moments before. Impossible. Thrak hissed, rising from his command chair. Scan again. Multiple vessels decloaking, the tactical officer reported, his voice rising in alarm. The mining ships, they're transforming. All around the Vraxian battle group, human vessels shed their disguises. Mining ships revealed gun emplacements and missile launchers. Orbital platforms unfolded into battle stations. What had appeared to be a vulnerable colony was suddenly a fortress. "You are outgunned and surrounded," came a transmission from the largest human vessel. "This is Admiral Carter of the Earth Defense Force. Surrender your vessels or be destroyed." Thrak slammed his clawed fist onto his command console. The Vraxian Imperium does not surrender. All vessels, attack pattern Delta. Show these primitives the might of a true spacefaring power. The space above Proxima Centauri erupted in battle. Vraxian ships fired their main weapons, expecting to tear through the human defenses. Instead, their energy beams were absorbed by adaptive shields that seemed to grow stronger with each hit. The human counterattack was devastating. Missiles with gravity distortion warheads bypassed Vraxian shields completely. Quantum-locked beam weapons struck with pinpoint accuracy, disabling propulsion and weapon systems without destroying the vessels themselves. On his flagship, Thrak watched in disbelief as his battle group was systematically dismantled. "This cannot be happening," he growled. "These humans were barely space-capable when we began our probe of their territory." "Supreme Commander," his communications officer interrupted, "we're receiving transmissions from multiple fronts. Our forces at Ta City are under attack. Our border outposts are reporting coordinated strikes. The mining colony at Rigel is gone." Within 6 hours, the pride of the Vraxian fleet lay in ruins above Proxima Centauri. Of 30 vessels, 22 had been disabled and boarded. 5 had been destroyed when they attempted to self-destruct rather than be captured. 3, including Thrak's flagship, remained operational but surrounded. Final communication from Earth Command. Admiral Carter's voice came through clearly on all Vraxian frequencies. "You have 1 standard hour to surrender unconditionally. After that, we will no longer accept surrender." Thrak's scales had faded to the pale gray of shock. "How?" he asked when Carter's image appeared on his view screen. "How did you conceal such military capability?" Carter's expression remained neutral. "You believed your own propaganda, Commander Thrak. You convinced yourselves we were primitive because we sought peace. You mistook patience for weakness, restraint for inability. The Conclave will never allow this," Thrak threatened desperately. "The other species will unite against you. The other species are watching footage of your unprovoked attack on our diplomatic vessel," Carter replied. "They're seeing how you plan to frame us for an attack on the Conclave itself. And they're observing how, even when we have you defeated, we offer terms rather than annihilation." He leaned closer to the screen. "We still want peace, Commander. The difference is that now you understand the alternative." 1 month later, the newly reconstructed Conclave Station hosted an historic gathering. Representatives from all major spacefaring civilizations watched as Supreme Emissary Graxov, his once proud posture now hunched in defeat, signed the Treaty of Proxima Centauri. The treaty established new boundaries for human space, recognized Earth's right to defend its colonies, and imposed severe restrictions on Vraxian military movements. Most significantly, it established a mutual defense pact among the middle powers of the galaxy. Species that had long been intimidated by Vraxian might now found courage in alliance with Earth. Admiral Donovan, representing Earth at the signing ceremony, made no victory speech. Instead, he simply stated, "Humanity came to the stars seeking friendship and knowledge. We still do, but let all civilizations understand this fundamental truth. We will never again mistake aggression for strength or diplomacy for weakness." As the ceremony concluded, a memorial was unveiled in the center of the conclave chamber, a simple holographic flame beside the names of the Olive Branch's crew and diplomatic team. Beneath it, inscribed in all major galactic languages, were Commander Maya Chen's final words. "You wanted peace. Then why are you bleeding?" In the decades that followed, those words would become both a warning and a promise throughout the galaxy. Humanity continued its expansion among the stars, always extending friendship first, but never again without the clear understanding that behind Earth's open hand lay a steel fist, ready if needed. The Vraxian Imperium never regained its former dominance. Other species, emboldened by humanity's example, began to challenge centuries of Vraxian intimidation. The balance of power had shifted permanently, and on distant worlds, when new spacefaring races asked about the strange dual nature of humans, their genuine desire for peaceful cooperation coupled with unmatched military readiness, they would be told the story of Commander Chen and the lesson she taught the galaxy. True peace comes not from weakness, but from strength properly restrained until needed.